Chapter 125. Boom, boom, boom. A terrifying attack struck, and the enlightenment space was broken. What's going on? The celestial beasts panicked, not knowing what was happening. Yi Tian's gaze looked high in the sky, and he saw a series of majestic figures appear. 10 terrifying Tianlin beasts, hundreds of meters long, were fighting with a 10-meter-tall, blood-colored, three-eyed monkey. The battle between the two sides shook the void, and thousands of miles of dark clouds were beaten into nothingness, and rays of light ran through the sky. Such terrifying power made Yi Tian marvel. This is definitely not the strength of the king level, but the strength above the king level. Yi Tian originally thought that this was a close battle, but he was wrong. The divine monkey smashed a Tianlin beast into a blood mist with one palm, and its body collided with another Tianlin beast, knocking it out. The moment the Tianlin beast flew out, it lost its life force. The other celestial beasts burned their bloodline power to try to stop the divine monkey, but at this moment, the divine monkey's third eye released a spatial blade, which instantly pierced through the bodies of the three celestial beasts, blasting them to death. Spatial talent, and it is also a spatial blade, at least a high-level spatial talent. Yi Tian was excited. This was the first time he had seen a high-level spatial talent. Copy. Be sure to copy, Yi Tian said darkly, but he knew that he couldn't fly up directly, otherwise the other party would be able to kill him in the air from a distance of tens of thousands of meters, not wanting to get close to a distance of kilometers. Soon, the heavenly Lin beasts above were killed one after another, and the divine monkey actually ignored the prohibition of the Holy Beast Mountain and flew in directly, its eyes staring at the Enlightenment Heavenly Monument. The Enlightenment Heavenly Monument is its purpose. Quack! The divine monkey shouted, and a spatial blade slashed into the ground below the Enlightenment Heavenly Monument, causing the ground to begin to crack, and the Enlightenment Heavenly Monument began to shake. The Tianlin beasts that were closer were shocked to death, but the Tianlin beasts that were a little farther away were fine. Yi Tian was also affected, but he had a healing talent. Although he was only a high healing talent in this body, it also saved his life, though he was still seriously injured. Soon, it's 1,500 meters. Yi Tian said urgently, but the more this happens, the more you can't rush. He also knew that he might not be able to live this time, so he first copied the Tianlin beast's death substitution talent, and then he settled down in his heart. Next, it only depends on whether you can replicate the high-level space talent. It's all a matter of luck. The divine monkey obviously wanted to cut off the Enlightenment Heavenly Monument by the roots, so as to take away the Enlightenment Heavenly Monument, and it was very urgent, obviously afraid of the Tianlin Beast Clan, because the real powerhouse of the Tianlin Beast Clan had not yet come, and the 10 Tianlin Beasts just now were just the guardians here. If the real powerhouse of the Tianlin Beast Clan came, it would have no chance. The Space Blade is very terrifying. Even the connection between the Enlightenment Heavenly Monument and the Holy Beast Mountain has been vaguely cut off by it. If it is given time, the divine monkey can really take away the Enlightenment Heavenly Monument. At this moment, an incomparably huge celestial Lin beast flew into the sky in the distance, thousands in number, and the terrifying aura made the sun's brilliance extremely dim. The divine monkey looked at the distance very jealously and was very panicked. It hurriedly came to the Enlightenment Heavenly Monument, while cutting off the connection between the Enlightenment Heavenly Monument and the Holy Beast Mountain, and at the same time pulling out the Enlightenment Heavenly Monument with great force. And at this time, it was already within 1,000 meters of Yi Tian. Yi Tian's copying talent shrouded the divine monkey, and he immediately observed its talent. Species: three-eyed monkey. Bloodline talent: Morningstar. Spatial talent: high. Speed talent: medium. Blood pupil talent: advanced. In terms of talent, this divine monkey is definitely very demonic, and it can easily torture and kill those of the same level. Copy. Yi Tian didn't say a word and immediately copied the high-level spatial talent, not even looking at the other talents. The spatial talent is a truly anti-heaven talent, one of the two supreme talents along with the time talent. Even if it is only a high-level spatial talent, the injuries caused by its attack power far exceed other top-level or even pseudo-mystical level attack talents. Spatial attack. Even if the attack power is not high, who can block the spatial attack? Even if it is in the realm of Yi Tian's Grand Master, once he releases the Space Blade, the powerful king level may not be able to stop it. Once he has copied the higher space talent, he will have a trump card, a truly powerful trump card. In an instant, Yi Tian successfully copied the high-level spatial talent. And at this moment, there was an angry roar in the distance. Damn three-eyed monkey. This is not the language of humans, but the fluctuating language of the celestial Linman. The next moment, a huge claw pierced through the void and slammed down at the three-eyed monkey. The void froze, and even Yi Tian couldn't move the slightest. This is definitely a terrifying existence comparable to the owner of the golden eyes of the spatial rift at the beginning. Under this terrifying force, the teleportation of the three-eyed monkey was suppressed, and it was difficult to teleport away for a while. Roar! The three-eyed monkey did not admit defeat, and a huge spatial blade greeted it, colliding with the huge Tianlin beast's claws. A terrifying shockwave swept away, and Yi Tian and the other Tianlin beasts that did not escape were affected. Their bodies were instantly torn apart in countless parts, and they died on the spot. Earth, in the midst of a top-level array. A soul sliced through the void and into a house. Yi Tian opened his eyes, and his mind felt very painful. He's back, but it wasn't for 3 months, he was bombed back. The soul is damaged, and it will take at least 3 months to recover. In these 3 months, I can't comprehend the formation, nor can I comprehend the sword technique and other things. But compared to the harvest, everything is worth it. Yi Tian's face was excited and elated. He gained a substitute death talent, a high-level space talent, defense mystery, 60% sword intent, and a silver-level sword skill, Tianji/. Any one of these gains was enough to drive people crazy, and he got them all. Suddenly, he recalled the scene of being bombarded just now. The Tianlin beast with the huge palm was less than a kilometer away from him, and he subconsciously observed the talent situation of the other party, and now the talent situation is still vivid. Species: Celestial Linman. Bloodline talent: Radiant Moon. Strength talents: Medium. Speed talent: Medium. Huihui level bloodline talent. Could it be that the talent above the morning level is a Huihui level talent? And the Little Blood's sun level bloodline talent must still be above the Huihui level bloodline. Yi Tian thought. Morning star, bright moon, dawn sun. Of these 3 talent levels, Yi Tian is only currently in the morning star, but for the people in the Demon Sea base, the morning star cultivation talent already belongs to the legend. Soon, when I step into the king level, I will go to the super base, and when the time comes, I can copy 2 morning star talents to reach the Huihui level cultivation talent, and it will not be difficult for me to improve my cultivation talent. Yi Tian said confidently. First of all, I have to fuse the 2 talents in my hand, and only when I fuse them can I feel at ease. Yi Tian hurriedly began to fuse. Perhaps because of the damage to the soul, this fusion was several times more painful than before. Half an hour later, Yi Tian was able to successfully fuse the substitute death talent and the advanced spatial talent. Substitute death talent. Yi Tian closed his eyes and sensed the situation of the substitute death talent, and soon knew its usefulness. This talent is amazing. Yi Tian opened his eyes and said with great joy. Chapter 126. The substitution talent is indeed the same as Yi Tian guessed. It can be substituted for death once. However, it's not unconditionally substituted for death. It requires preparing stand-in materials. For example, collecting the corpse of a fierce beast or the corpse of a human as a substitute for death, and using the power of the substitute for death talent to transform the corpse into a substitute for death. Then, you hide the substitute death clone somewhere. If Yi Tian is killed in the outside world, you can activate the death substitute talent in an instant, and the body and the substitute death clone will be replaced instantly, so that the substitute death clone will die instead of Yi Tian. Since the substitute doppelganger is the same as the main body, it's even false and real. As long as the enemy doesn't check carefully, they'll truly think it's the main body. Of course, such an anti-heaven talent also has a limit. It can only be used once in 3 years, and there is a distance limit. The body cannot leave the substitute death clone for 1,000,000 miles, otherwise the substitute death talent will be invalid. Maybe if the death substitution talent is raised from medium to high, the distance will be increased a lot, and the time interval will also be reduced, but at present, Yi Tian can only use the medium death substitution talent first. Find a time to make a substitute for death. This is equivalent to a life. Yi Tian muttered. Immediately, his attention was focused on the spatial talent. Open black lens bracket spatial talent, advanced close black lens bracket. The medium space talent has spatial perception, space imprint, portable space, and teleportation. And now it has been promoted to a higher space. My portable space has increased tenfold in size, comparable to a small square, and other abilities have also increased greatly, which is worthy of a high space talent. Yi Tian was very satisfied. But what he values most is the ability of the space blade. Space blade. As soon as his mind moved, a black blade appeared in front of Yi Tian, completely composed of spatial power, like a spatial crack, but it was formed like a blade. Dissipate. Yi Tian cancelled the space blade talent. He didn't dare to test the space blade here. In that case, the other kings would know. How could he explain it? The high-level spatial talent cannot be exposed for the time being. Let's still cultivate, Yi Tian muttered. If the soul is damaged, things such as comprehension of formations, sword intent, and sword technique will be affected, but the cultivation of the purple blood vein refining technique will not be affected. As a result, Yi Tian began to cultivate frantically, taking king-level fierce beast blood to cultivate the purple blood vein refining technique every day. The second thing he wants to refine is the yang dimension vein, and it is not far from refining the yang dimension vein. It only took 10 days. Yi Tian successfully refined the yang dimensional vein, and his body strength reached 21 elephant powers. Yi Tian's third meridian is the yin stilt vein among the 8 veins of the Qi Sutra. The following days were very dull, cultivating, and occasionally cleaning up the fierce beasts. In this way, Yi Tian had been guarding the spatial crack for 2 months. 26. The power of the elephant, almost. Yi Tian packed up his things and then walked out of the house with Xiao Shui. Today is the day to leave the top-level array. Not only he has to leave, but other king-level and formation mages have to leave, leaving only 1 formation mage and 1 king-level stationed here. The top-level array has been completely stabilized, and the spatial rift has also been stabilized, so there is no need for multiple people to be stationed. Rushing. A wind-resisting boat flew in. Ha ha ha. Someone is coming to garrison, let's all get ready to leave. A king-level said. Soon, a group of people came down from the wind boat. So many people? Yi Tian frowned. Didn't you say that there was only 1 formation mage and 1 king? How could there be so many people, and except for 2 men, the others were women? Suddenly, it dawned on him. He understood something. That king-level and array mage must be stationed here for more than 2 months, and long-term stationing is bound to be boring, and bringing some maids can occasionally solve physical needs and other needs. Individuals have their own way of living, and Yi Tian naturally will not criticize them. The handover task was completed, and Yi Tian and other king-level and array mages returned to the Demon Sea base one after another. Riding the little blood, Yi Tian came back soon. Back home, it was afternoon. Yi Tian saw Yi Yu, who was cultivating. Yi Yu had reached the realm of a great martial artist at this time and had graduated from the martial arts school. Brother, you're back. When Yi Yu saw Yi Tian, she hadn't seen him for a few months, thought deeply, and hurriedly threw herself into Yi Tian's arms. Xiaoyu, I'll cook today. Let's have a big meal. Yi Tian touched Yi Yu's head and said with a smile. Uh-huh. Yi Yu nodded. Her eyes showed expectation, and her whole little face was cute. So, Yi Tian took matters into his own hands and made a big meal with all kinds of beast meat, vegetables, and fruits. The brother and sister ate happily, and Yi Tian enjoyed a warm family dinner. If you want to protect this family, you must have stronger strength. In this era, no progress means that you will perish at any time. Yi Tian looked at Yi Yu, who was full of smiles, and said secretly in his heart. After the meal, Yi Tian began to cultivate frantically again. He wanted to be promoted to the king level in the shortest possible time, and only by stepping into the king level could he be qualified to embark on this colorful and wonderful talent era. He wanted to go to that super base and compete with countless geniuses. In a flash, days passed. Villa, basement. Yi Tian was tinkering with a fierce beast corpse. This was a high-level peak fierce beast corpse, and he was going to transform this corpse into a substitute for death. Of course, just a corpse is not enough. Some auxiliary materials are also needed, as well as Yi Tian's own blood. In the past few days, he asked someone to buy materials. Although it was not a precious material, it also took several days. Today, it's finally all done. So, he couldn't wait to create a substitute doppelganger to add a life to himself. Yi distributed the materials, ground them into powder, and then dripped his own blood, mixed them, and then smeared them on the corpse of the fierce beast. "You're all set. Here we go." Yi urged the power of the medium substitution talent to pour into the corpse of the fierce beast. Knock, knock, knock. The carcass of the beast began to change, gradually shrinking into a ball of flesh. After another moment, the beast's corpse shifted towards its human form. Finally, the corpse of the fierce beast turned into a humanoid state exactly like Yi, but it had no breath, like a dead person. "It's done for the death clone." Yi breathed a sigh of relief. He can sense the connection between himself and the substitute death clone, and can activate the substitute talent for a year and replace it with the substitute death clone. Subsequently, Yi closed this underground secret room and even arranged a defensive formation and a concealment formation. 3 months passed quietly. After 3 months, Yi soul injuries were completely repaired, and there would be no more sequelae or effects. Moreover, in the past 3 months, he had almost cultivated in the intermediate Yuan Qi cultivation room at home, increasing the power of 27 elephants in total, and increasing the strength of his body to 53 elephants. In addition, after his soul injury has recovered, he can go to the sword technique to practice the silver-level sword skill, Tianji/. Chapter 127. The silver-level sword technique Tianji/ was created by Yi. Others need to slowly comprehend silver-level sword techniques, but he doesn't need to be so troubled. His sword intent realm has already reached 60%, and he can soon cultivate the silver-level sword skill to the consummation level. So, in the next few days, Yi went all out to comprehend the silver-level sword technique, Tianji/. On the first day, the silver-level sword technique Tianji/ entered the door. On the third day, the silver-level sword skill Tianji/ reached Shaocheng. On the sixth day, the silver-level sword skill Tianji/ reached great mastery. On the 10th day, the silver-level sword skill Tianji/ was completed. It took 10 days to cultivate a silver-level sword technique to the consummation level, which was impossible in the eyes of other martial artists. Even if it was a martial artist with a top-level sword skill talent, and their sword intent realm had reached 60%, it would still take at least a year to be able to cultivate a silver-level sword skill to perfection. Yi only took 10 days. This is the advantage of self-created knife skills. The silver-level sword technique Tianji/ was perfectly cultivated, and Yi strength became many times stronger. Now, his physical strength has reached 53 elephant power. Under the increase of Yuan force, it is 106 elephant power. The pseudo-arcane strength talent can increase the attack by 30 times, and the silver-level sword skill Tianji/ can increase the attack by 12 times. In this way, Yi strongest blow can reach the power of 38,160 elephants. The power of one blow reaches 38,160 elephant power, and I am only a Grand Master. Yi couldn't help but be extremely proud of himself. The key was that he could still exert such strong power. If ordinary people couldn't build a perfect foundation and break the limitations of heaven and earth, no matter how strong their talent was, they wouldn't be able to exert more than 100 times their attack power. The king-level body strength has a minimum of 150 elephant power, and the king-level extreme body strength is 10,000 elephant power. Under the superimposed amplification, it is 20,000 elephant power. Now my attack power has surpassed the king-level extreme attack power without special talent. Yi calculated. It can be said that Yi strength is extremely strong among the kings. Moreover, Yi has a top-level speed talent, and he is not much weaker than the powerful king level in terms of speed, though it is much weaker than the speed of the invincible king level. However, I still have the trump card of the Space Blade. When I reach the ultimate Grand Master, I may have the combat power of the invincible king level. Invincible king level. That was the combat power that Yi had dreamed of before. Now that he was about to reach it, with the speed of his cultivation progress, it was just a matter of a few months. At that time, Yi had to prepare to leave the Demon Sea base and go to the Super base. For the sake of better talent, he had to leave. In the past few months, he has not even copied the better talents in the Demon Sea base, and only copied a few general talents, such as the top-level Windblade talent, which comes from Yongfeng, and the high-level Thunder and Lightning talent, etc., which are not of much help to the battle. Of course, there is also a good talent, which is a medium illusion talent. The illusion talent isn't very useful for combat, but it can be used to interrogate the enemy, and sometimes it can be of great use, so Yi Tian also copied it. However, what Yi Tian really wanted were not these talents. What he wanted was a cultivation talent above the Morning Star level and a pseudo-arcane level talent, or a high-level spatial talent or above, as well as talents similar to the substitution of death talent and soul transfer talent. These talents were what he wanted, but they couldn't be found in the Demon Sea base. Therefore, he really wanted to leave the Demon Sea base as soon as possible. This day, Yi Tian came to Yu's house. He didn't come to see Yu Ling, but to visit the only king-level ancestor of the Yu family, Yu Ling. In the depths of Yu's house, there is a small, classical courtyard. This is Yu Ling's residence, and he likes a fresher environment, so he made his residence like this. "Brother Yu, I'm here to disturb you today." Yi Tian opened his mouth and said, "Where, Yi Xiaoyu, it is my honor to have you visit me." Yu Ling said with joy on his face, "Brother Yu, how was the last time we spoke when I asked you about something?" Yi Tian asked expectantly. Yu Ling knew what Yi Tian was asking. The last time they separated, Yi Tian asked him to investigate the matter of the superbase. It was best to find out how to enter the superbase. "I found out." Yu Ling's expression was a little solemn, but the superbase is not easy to enter. They have high requirements for outsiders. If you want to enter the superbase to stay for a few days, it's okay, but if you want to enter the superbase to stay and become a resident, you can't do it with money. You need strength. So demanding? Yi Tian frowned. It's that high. This is to maintain the majesty and talent of the superbase. If a large number of low-talent people pour into the superbase, the population of the superbase will indeed increase, but the quality will decrease, Yu Ling explained. Yi Tian nodded, agreeing with this statement. But what Yu Ling said next shocked Yi Tian. "Yi Tian, strength is only one aspect. The real trouble is that the power of the superbase is very complicated, and it seems to be." Yu Ling was a little afraid to speak, as if he was a little jealous or unwilling to believe it. "What seems like it?" Yi Tian hurriedly asked. "It seems that we are not the only humans of our time." Yu Ling took a deep breath and said, "What do you mean?" Yi Tian's face changed. "I don't know very well. I learned from the mouth of a powerful king level. He also heard it from other king level individuals. It is said that someone has seen a 3-meter-tall person in the king level base, and a human with 3 eyes. But how can a human being have 3 eyes and be 3 meters tall?" Yu Ling seemed to be saying that this was impossible, but he also knew that there was no smoke without fire. If not, there shouldn't be such an outrageous thing. Yi Tian pondered whether the superbase was really so strange, different from modern human beings. He could only know after he went. Is there a roadmap to get to the superbase? This is what Yi Tian attaches the most importance to. With a roadmap, he can enter the superbase. If he doesn't, looking for the superbase in the vast land is tantamount to killing himself. Yes, but only in general directions. Yu Ling took out a hand-drawn map, which marked a superbase, Zhanghai Superbase, which was also the superbase where Yun Meng left to break through. "Thank you." Yi Tian put away the map and said gratefully. Immediately, in Yu Ling's surprised gaze, Yi Tian threw out a secret book. "This secret book should be my reward. I still have something to do, so I won't stay here." After speaking, Yi Tian left. Yu Ling originally wanted to return the cheats to Yi Tian, but when he picked up the cheats, he was stunned. Silver-level sword technique, Tianji slash. He opened it and took a closer look, and saw that the silver-level sword technique Tianji slash could increase attack and speed at the same time. When cultivated to perfection, it could increase his attack by 11 times and attack speed by nearly twice. Only Yi Tian could increase it by 12 times, others could only increase it by 11 times. This silver-level cheat is simply priceless. Yu Ling trembled a little. Although the Yu family rarely has geniuses with sword skills and sword skills have the same end. Geniuses with sword skills can also practice sword skills, only needing to transform a little, and they can roughly exert 80 or 90% of the power of sword skills. Therefore, the significance of this silver-level sword skill to the Yu family is very huge because the Yu family only has a broken silver-level sword skill. That's a lot of payment. Yu Ling was secretly grateful. Chapter 128. Yu Ling wouldn't be hypocritical. If this reward was useless or too precious for the Yu family, he would send it back. But the silver-level sword skill was indeed of great use to the Yu family, so he was naturally reluctant to send it back. Let's have a chance to repay Yi Tian in the future. Yu Ling thought so in his heart. But he also knew that this opportunity was likely to be very difficult. He guessed that Yi Tian would go to the superbase soon, and it wasn't clear if they would have a chance to meet again. At home, Yi Tian spread out the map and carefully observed the locations on it. There weren't many locations marked, only a few bases, including the 3 major bases and the Zhanghai base, as well as a few medium-sized bases, in addition to some landmark locations. The map is really simple, but it also shows the location and approximate distance of the Zhanghai superbase, 1 million kilometers. This distance is indeed far enough. Yi Tian muttered. In a previous life, 1 million kilometers would be an exaggeration, but in this world, it's a very normal distance. Because the Earth has grown so much bigger. It seems that the Earth has become far more than hundreds of times bigger. The rumors of the Linhai base are really false. If it's only a few hundred times bigger, the Magic Sea base cannot be 1 million kilometers away from the Zhanghai superbase. Yi Tian pondered. The entire map hasn't even drawn the coastline. It's estimated that he has never been to the beach. It's rumored that there's a great horror on the seaside. As for what kind of horror it is, Yi Tian doesn't know, but even the king level doesn't dare to step onto the seaside. Because of this, people only know that the 3 major bases of the Demon Sea are close to the sea, but they haven't even seen the sea at all. From the southwest of the Demon Sea base, across 500,000 kilometers of road, passing by a huge river, it is said to be a branch of the Yangtze River, but now it has also become a river as wide as 10,000 miles. This section of the road is the most dangerous. Without strong strength, one can't cross the river at all, and even ordinary king-level people will fall. This is a brief and only description of this section of the river on the map. No wonder many kings in the Demon Sea base don't dare to go to the superbase. It's estimated that they're afraid of this section of the river. Yi Tian speculated. However, he was definitely going to go. Originally, he was going to take Yi Yu, Xiao Shui, Xiao Jin, and Xiao Zi with him, but now he has no such plans. It's not that he won't take them there, but that he'll wait for a while. According to Yu Ling, without the strength of the king level, the Zhanghai superbase will not be accepted at all. Yi Yu is just a great martial artist. Even if she is taken to the Zhanghai superbase, the Zhanghai superbase will not accept her. How would he place her at that time? So, Yi Tian is going to go by himself first, and then find a way to get Yi Yu a place to join the Zhanghai superbase, and then come back to pick up Yi Yu. The Grandmaster has begun to prepare to the extreme. Once he hits the king level, he will immediately go to the Zhanghai Grand Base. Yi Tian made a decision. In the following time, Yi Tian began to cultivate hard, and then cultivated, rarely going out. He occasionally went out to accompany his sister to go shopping. When Yi Tian was improving, Yi Yu was also improving. With the massive amount of top-level fierce beast blood provided by Yi Tian, plus Yi Yu's qualifications were not bad. He was already a top-level cultivation talent. He was making progress towards the extreme of a great martial artist step by step. Yi Tian also wanted to buy a treasure for Yi Yu that could turn her talent into an extraordinary level cultivation talent, but such a treasure couldn't be bought at all, not even by the Yun family. Otherwise, the transcendental level cultivation talent wouldn't be so rare. There are too few treasures that can have an improvement effect on talents above the top cultivation talent, and once you reach the morning level cultivation talent, if you want to get promoted, it's estimated that you won't be able to find such a treasure at all. There should be a super base in China shipping. Yi Tian plans to buy treasures that can be promoted to transcendental talents at the Zhanghai super base at that time, even if he pays a big price. After all, he only has this one sister, but he cherishes her very much, so he naturally has to think about Yi Yu. In the blink of an eye, another month has passed. In this month's time, Yi Tian has increased his power by 9 elephants again, and his body strength has reached 62 elephant powers. He has once again copied 2 talents. One is a high-level tracking talent, which can identify the residual breath in the air to track the enemy, and the other is a high-level ice talent. The reason why the high-level ice talent is copied is that this talent can have a good effect in the river, which can freeze the river water, which is conducive to the battle of warriors. Because of this, he copied this talent in order to cross the river in the future and not suffer on the river. During this period, Yi Tian also began to continue to comprehend the formation pattern. He had a top-level formation talent. If he didn't learn the formation pattern, wouldn't it be a waste of this talent? And, the cultivation room that Yi Tian is now practicing in retreat is only an intermediate yuan gathering formation, but in fact, there are still advanced yuan gathering formations, and the advanced yuan gathering formation can gather more than 10 times the yuan qi. With the cultivation talent of the morning star, coupled with the purple blood pulse refining technique, if you cultivate in an environment of 10 times your vitality, you can definitely increase your cultivation speed by more than 5 times. Therefore, in order to achieve more than 5 times the cultivation speed, he occasionally comprehended the formation pattern, striving to raise his formation talent to the level of a high-level formation mage. As for whether he could get the high-level gathering yuan formation, that would be discussed later. In the blink of an eye, in the past 2 months, Yi Tian's physical strength has increased to 80 elephants, and the yin dimensional vein, yang dimensional vein, yin seesaw vein, yang stilt vein, belt vein, and chong vein have all been refined, leaving only the ren vein almost finished, and the du vein, which has not yet begun to be refined. And at this time, Yi Tian's array patterns had reached 120, and he had finally reached the level of a high-level array mage. Subsequently, he went to the Formation Mage Association to get a high-level gathering yuan formation, but after careful inquiry, he learned that the Formation Mage Association did have a high-level gathering yuan formation, but it was not traded at all, and it was only in the hands of the top formation mage. But that top-level array mage didn't sell high-level Ju Yuan array at all, and he couldn't even buy it at the king level, because that top-level array mage was also a king level. People are very selfish, and they want to keep good things for themselves, and they are not willing to share them with others. Yi Tian understands this very well. In desperation, Yi Tian could only give up. The only place where you can get the blueprint of the advanced gathering yuan formation is there. Yi Tian thought of the Shanghe formation tower. King Shanghe was also a top-level formation mage at the beginning, and he should also have a high-level gathering yuan formation design on his body. But it was a little difficult to get a high-level gathering yuan formation design from the Shanghe formation tower. Because every time you break through the first floor of the Shanghe formation tower, you can only get one design drawing, and it depends on your luck what the design plan is. There is no reward for repeating the tower, so everyone has a limited chance. The 9th layer of the assessment, through the 9th layer, you can become the inheritor of the Shanghe king, but everyone will give up the assessment after passing the 8th layer. It is estimated that there is a bit of a trick to becoming the inheritor of the king of Shanghe, otherwise no one would be interested in the inheritance of the king of Shanghe. Yi Tian guessed. As a result, he could only get 8 blueprints, but he had already broken through 3 floors and obtained 3 formation blueprints, leaving only 5 chances. However, it is impossible for the design of the advanced Ju Yuan formation to appear on the 4th or 5th floors. It is estimated that only after the assessment of the 7th or 8th layers is over, there will be a chance to get it, and the probability is even lower. Let's see your luck. Yi Tian thought so,